Hi everybody, it's Michelle here again with birthuhurah. Here at birthuhurah, I am a full spectrum plant-based holistic doula and an advocate for all things safe, natural, and effective. Here on this channel, we discuss all things pregnancy, birth, and womb health related. So if you guys like the content and you love what you hear on the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Today's topic is going to be about bone closing. And what bone closing is a ceremony. A bone closing ceremony is basically an indigenous practice that is utilized to close the gap that obviously when we as birthing people and women and all that good stuff, when we have children, our bodies go through a very traumatic experience. Our hips open up, our pelvis opens up, our abdomen stretches, the muscles move out the way, everything moves out the way, our spirit, our soul opens up, all of that stuff opens up, right? Because birth, as we know, is a spiritual practice, right? It's a beautiful and powerful experience to give birth to a child and manifest a soul. But at the same time, we have to nurture ourselves. Our physical and emotional and spiritual well-being has to be nurtured and should be nurtured, and we deserve to be nurtured after going through that amazing, exhausting, difficult, complex, and beautiful experience, right? So what bone closing is a practice that helps bring mom back to her centered self. It helps close the hips, close the pelvis, pull all of the muscles and all of those ligaments and everything that had to stretch and move out the way and make room for baby. We're bringing that back together, and we're giving mom a chance to just think about what she has done and to debrief herself and the experience that she had, and to recognize who she has become and the spiritual transition that had to happen in order for her to bring that baby into the world, right? Um, so bone closing, the ceremony of bone closing is an indigenous practice. It has a lot of origin in like Mexico and Ecuador, in those cultures. It's a practice done all over the world using a manta or a rebozo. Well, several of them, about 5 of them. And I'm not going to go into too much about how it is done because that will take a long time, right? I just want to go over my specific practice. I did a lot of research. I attended a few webinars with indigenous people who practice this, who study this, some expert doulas. And I have talked to, a few different women about this practice who also have a lot of background in birth work as myself. So I wanted to incorporate this into my practice, and I have incorporated in my practice because I feel strong about the idea of it. I feel strong about the spiritual part of it. I feel strong about going to my client, in between those first 6 and 12 weeks, and really allowing my client to hold a space and to just discuss her experience and to be catered to and nurtured and pampered and helped back to her new self, not herself, because you will never be the same after you have a child, right? You will never be the same after you have entered the world of motherhood. Your body literally goes through an intense process, and not only that, you are literally fully developed after you have a child. We're none of us are actually fully developed before we have a child. No woman is actually fully developed before she has a child. Excuse me, I know I'm talking a little funny. I bit my tongue a couple of days ago, and it's like so swollen back there. So I'm talking a little funny. So please bear with me. Um, so yeah, I really love the idea of bone closing. I really love the practice. I have researched and researched and researched, and I have practiced it um, on myself, on my family members. Um, I really loved my first experience doing a bone closing. It was amazing. Um, so much so that my client and myself cried in the process of it. It was really a powerful experience. I added some sound therapy, so I took my song bowls over there. Um, I allowed my client to do a yoni steam. I had her take a spiritual bath. Um, well, not a spiritual bath, a cleansing bath. So a spiritual bath is cold. We don't want to be cold in the process of postpartum healing, right? We want to stay warm. So I had her take a healing bath with some herbs and just lit some candles, dim the room, let her play her favorite music, and really just, kept the babies out the way, and really allowed her to relax, get herself into position of accepting and allowing what has just happened, what had just occurred, right? And then, so once mom is out, dried off, in her robe, ready to go, um, we do um, the bone closing session. So we lay the cloths out, and mom gets to lay there. I do some warming therapy. So I make friction between my hands, make my hands really, really warm. And I go over her body with this warming effect, this energy. And then, and you have to make sure your energy is clear. You have to make sure you are in a great space during this time. You cannot walk into someone's home doing a bone closing, frustrated, angry at life. Something just happened. All of these different things. You have to go in there in peace and love and honor, right? So you can take a smudge stick, whether you want to do sage. I don't like to do sage too much because um, it is indigenous to Native Americans, and it has been said to have been going, like it's not enough going around and being grown to meet the demands that, the people are buying it at. So I don't like to use sage too much, but there's other herbs that you can use. Um, I burn pine, I burn thyme, I burn mugwort, just different herbs that, are more appropriated for my culture and my beliefs and how I see things, right? And I also don't want to take away from somebody else's indigenous practice. So I try not to use sage. I know I have sage from me growing it in my garden. So sometimes I use that, but I don't really go to the store and buy sage, just because I know, the behind the scenes of it, right? So I use that. I cleanse the space. You can do aromatherapy with a high quality essential oils and a diffuser. You can have music playing, healing sounds, whatever the case may be. But you just want your client to be, or, you want her to be calm. You want her to be comfortable. You want her to feel safe. You want to allow her the opportunity to pour out whatever she is feeling. And then, she lays down, and you start to wrap her. And you wrap the feet, you wrap the legs, you wrap the hips, you wrap the abdomen, the shoulders, and the head, right? And then, yeah, and it's really a practice. She kind of, you want to keep her warm throughout this time. Definitely keep her warm. This She also is going to go into getting a abdominal massage with some good oils, quality oils that is not going to affect the skin, harm the skin. And then you want to do this massage. And then you want to follow this by a belly bind, right? This helps to cleanse the uterus, cleanse anything that is in there, get the blood flowing, detoxing, moving it out, and making space for new energy, making space for love, making space for acceptance and creativity and all of these different things. And this is something that I found to be so amazing. And I'm so glad that I looked into really providing this as um, a practice, as a service that I provide. Because yes, I was doing belly binding. That's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. I still do it today on my own body. Um, but the bone closing ceremony just kind of touched me. It sat with me, and I really think that going into it and learning it was an awesome thing for me because it opened my eyes up to a new world, new culture, and I love it. I like it. I love the idea. I think that it is um, like it is like giving a sense of empowerment to the woman. Is allowing her to understand that people do care. We do love you. We do want to see you heal after you have gone through birth. And it is not something that we talk about enough, but we do not cater to, nurture, and honor our birthing women enough. And I think that this practice helps pour back into her, pour back into the birthing woman, to the birthing person, to allow them to reflect and to receive all that they are, and to really become the mom and embark on her new journey, right? So this is something that I think, um, if you can, to take advantage of it. And this is not something that you have to do it between 6 and 12 weeks, because I feel like I wanna do a bone closing ceremony. I never got that. I never got that opportunity to do that. I didn't know what that was. I did, do belly binding, and I did spiritual baths and healing baths and all of that stuff, but I never got a chance to do a bone closing, and I'm going to do it almost 3 years postpartum, right? But I do want to find the right person and the right set of people to honor me in that process, because it is a very sacred practice, and I don't want anybody just doing that. And that's why I put so much into emphasizing that you have to be in a clear space and you have to know what you're doing and going with the right intentions. And so it took me months, months and months before I actually um, did a bone closing ceremony, because I wanted to be in the right space and I wanted to know everything I could possibly know about this, especially just because it is a indigenous practice, and I never want to disrespect another person's culture, another people's culture, because I wouldn't want anybody to disrespect me, right? So that's pretty much all I got for bone closing. I do encourage all to do it. I do provide that as a practice in my doula packages. If that is something that anybody else wants to do, definitely look into it, and just be mindful that it is something that comes with a lot of energy work, a lot of breath work needs to happen. And you definitely need to go in with a clear mind, clear heart, and a peaceful soul. So if you want any more information, if you want me to talk more about this and really go into detail, just let me know. You can email us at birthuhurah@gmail.com, or drop your comments if you have any extra questions. If you want to add something that I left out that you know of, or anything like that. If you experienced the bone closing and you want to share your experience, please add it in the comments. Again, I am Nichelle. I am a full spectrum holistic doula at Birthy Hoover, and I will see you guys for the next video. Peace and pregnancy dust.